It's going to be a great second half.
1 point the margin at half-time. What more could you ask? Ironmonger against Deer. Ironmonger wins the tap. Tuck first on the scene, forces it forward. Could easily have got a free kick, but Russell Green had run into the umpire as Hawke gives the hand pass to right. He goes long, Capper from behind, gets around in front, couldn't quite take the mark. Kicked off the ground by Mitchell, touched. Scores a level here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. 58 points apiece, 30 seconds into the third term.
Eade, Alan Jeans. Well, he must be a worried man after that second quarter, and the Swans didn't take it long to get it forward. Langford, Dipier Domenico, that was a good mark. A top mark in front of David Bolton. They need their centre line firing. The Hawks over to Jenke. Ray Jenke on the left foot. Holden ducks back, and that Swan defence is really doing their job well. Craig Holden, very underrated player. Now he's got two men to kick it to. Murphy is the man in front to take it, and he played a brilliant second quarter. Could have been 15 metres. No, said the umpire. Hand pass to Carroll. Carroll's got Williams loose if he wants to give it to him. He finds him. No, he's got it one-handed, but he's got it. Greg Williams, a shocking hand pass, unlike him. Oh, Langford's caught. Holding the ball, a great tackle on Chris Langford. And, well, it's a free kick to the Swans, and Hawks again under pressure as the kick comes right down towards full forward, and Hawke, and the star of the game in my opinion so far is Paul Hawke. He's taken a top mark in the goal square.
We see Hawke having an absolutely sensational game, got his body in front, again a juggling mark, but
Not
he
good
just...
defensive work by Deer, though.
Should have thumped it away, Bob, but he can't do a thing wrong, Hawke, at the moment. And shouldn't have much trouble with this shot for goal.
Paul Hawke puts the Swans 6 points up. 9 goals 10, 64. 9 goals 4, 58. Paul Hawke kicking his third goal.
That's just the start that Hawthorn didn't want in this third quarter. Again, we see on replay Hawke putting his body in front and should have been thumped away by Deer, but wasn't, and Hawke eventually took the mark.
Well, I really feel, Barry, that the Hawks are having all sorts of problems round the centre bounce area where Ironmonger is killing them, and they're getting it out far too easily, the Swans. Back to the centre. Let's see what happens. Ironmonger and Deer. Ironmonger again gets it down. There's Hawke in the back. No, said the umpire. In they go. The Swans desperate. Over to Williams. Williams again out of the centre to Bayes. Oh, he should have marked that, Bayes. He's still got it. Oh, look at this. Down towards Healy. Oh, cleverly done, Rodney Eade. They're under enormous pressure, that Hawthorn defence, and the Swans are looking good.
They certainly are at the present moment. 9-4 to 9-10 in favour of the Swans. 3 minutes have gone in the third term. Bounce to take place. 35 metres out from the Swans' goal. Bayes gets the backhander. 3 Hawthorn players there. Not a lot of talking, but it comes out towards Russell Morris. His hand pass almost picked up by Kennedy. Kennedy was leaving the ball for Morris, but he did likewise for Kennedy, so we see it runs over the boundary line and a throwing to take place on the Swans' half-forward line. 44 Platten, 17 Tuck, 3 Healy coming in to compete in the ruck work. Deer takes it, but it's taken by Gerard Healy, who hooks it back, punched away from Cordy. Kennedy off the boot, over the boundary line it goes, but not on the full, so a throwing to take place, this time in the forward pocket for the Swans, who have continued on from the third term, and after 4 minutes of play are starting to look good as Cordy gets up, grabbed by Tuck, the hand pass across to Mew, long kick from Chris Mew in towards the centre. Ironmonger punches the ball away, picked up by Bolton, a nice hand pass to Holden, who goes on to Tui. Tui under pressure, gets a push in the back, and he will take the free kick.
Cleverly played by Bernard Tui. He knew he was going to cop it and just played for it. Over to Bolton. Bolton ducks around onto the left foot. He loves kicking on the left, even though he's a right foot kick. Down towards Steve Wright, who takes a courageous mark. Here they come. Dennis Carroll, a long driving kick. Tony Morwood, he marks. Oh boy, what a good mark that was. He was interfered with as he went for the mark. Was still good enough to take it. He's only had 3 kicks for the game and 3 handballs. We have a look in replay.
Morwood was interfered with by Morris there, but kept his eyes on the ball. A fine example to young players, and he took the mark.
Shouldn't he? I don't believe he should be around where he was.
Neither do I.
He took that mark about 3 metres further inside.
And if you take a straight line, Oh, clever play. Brilliant play that by Tony Morwood. Instead of being selfish and having a kick, he's set it up for Stevie Wright. 45-degree angle. A good camera shot of this one. Directly behind Steve Wright. This goal would be handy. He's hooked it though. A chance for the high flyers. Oh, there was interference to the Swans. Cordy's got it though. In they go. It's kicked loose. Michael Tuck. Oh, great kick off the ground, but David Murphy leads in the race, and he's got plenty of pace, David Murphy. Oh, look at that. He's a greatly improved player as he ducks away. It's off the side of the boot though. Bays and Curran. Curran couldn't take the mark. This is good play by Hawke. Shuffles it out to Bolton. It's a free kick though to the Swans, and things are going their way. They're making it happen, the Sydney Swans, and they're looking very dangerous. Paul Hawke had a sensational game.
Once again, Hawke getting a kick there. He can't do anything wrong. 13 kicks, 2 marks, 7 handballs for the day. A great performance.
Hawke now from 50 metres out. Nice looking kick. It's on line, but won't quite make the distance. Tony Morwood takes the mark. I was a bit worried that Kappa may have given away a free kick.
So did I.
But Morwood taking an excellent mark. There'll be no worries about the angle this time.
He's a dangerous player, Bob.
Very dangerous player. Morwood puts it right through the centre.
Well, that's 2 goals, Barry, to Tony Morwood. Hasn't been in it a great deal, but he's always there when the pressure's on.
That's right. You've got to keep an eye on Tony all the time. He's a mercurial sort of player, and he's, as he's shown in the last couple of minutes, 2 great marks and 1 goal.
I can't understand, Bobby, the fact that Dunstall's playing right up the ground. He hasn't been anywhere near the goals right from the start of the game.
Now, I know they're trying to run Carter around, but it's not working, so I would have Dunstall playing an orthodox type full forward. Looks like we're having trouble with the ball as the boundary umpire brings the ball away. Maybe it's gone flat or whatever, but a new ball coming onto the ground. It's not the boundary umpire, it's umpire Shane McDonald, who's come all the way down. And so as Shane McDonald brings out the new ball, it's 70 to 58 in favour of the Sydney Swans. 7.5 minutes almost into the third quarter. Ironmonger against Deer. Deer wins the tap. Tapped on by Healy. Smothered off the boot. Hawke could get the free kick.
What a game.
And as Peter McKenna said, what a game to Paul Hawke. Hand passes across to Bolton. Desperate attempt by Deep Domenico. Doesn't quite work. Kappa got a desperate dive, but neither one coming off. Both desperation efforts though. And official attendance here today, 22,273 people.
Hawthorn finding it very, very difficult to get it up to their forward line at the moment. They're under enormous pressure as we see. Here's their chance because Curran's got it too high. A tackle too high by Greg Williams. He can't argue with that one. Up by Shane McDonald right onto it. Half-back flank. I would like to see Dunstall, as Bobby Skilton said, play the normal full-forward position. As we see Andrew Collins on centre wing. Across the ground, again they're under pressure. Greg Williams, brilliant. Across to Mitchell, and here come the Swans. Mitchell tries to do too much. Bad play, Barry Mitchell. It's got to come back, Mark Browning, and that'll be 15 metres. A few weeks ago you would have been reported for that. It's got to come back to the centre. That was bad play, Barry Mitchell.
Barry, I feel Hawthorn is starting to fiddle around too much.
Well, then just a perfect example there, Bob, of Collins going across to the centre of the ground when a long kick was the order of the day. Can't afford to do that on the cricket ground.
So Andrew Collins from the centre of the ground puts it wide. Looking out there for Simons. Could have been a free kick to Tony Simons, but it's called play on as Tui picks it up. Gives it across to Holden. Holden into the centre, finds Bolton. He's got David Murphy. Murphy could have... No, he doesn't bounce. He gives it to Healy. A goal coming up as Jared Healy puts it straight through the centre. 11-10, 76, 9-4, 58.
Absolutely sensational goal there by the Swans. Moving the ball right from the half-back line, finishing up with Healy, and he made no mistake. A lovely handball moving through centre-half forward as we see on replay here. Handball from Bolton. And to Murphy again, back to Healy. Great teamwork from the Sydney Swans.
And Hawthorn are mesmerised, and I didn't like Hawthorn's second quarter. I thought that the Swans little men were cutting them to pieces. Until they do something around the packs at the centre bounce, they will get a hiding, I think. Ironmonger is killing them. In goes Collins, under pressure. Further field to Simons. Could have been a mark to Browning. There's one of the guys killing him. The Swans have never beaten Hawthorn up here. And there's a collision on Jenke from Steve Wright as he was hit very hard, Ray Jenke. Look at that. It was hip and shoulder. He was committed, Steve Wright. He's a tough little cookie as we see Jenke not looking too good. Towards half forward. Punched away by... Oh, Dermott went in with the boot there. Nearly collected a Swans player, but the umpire said no kicky in danger and the bounce will take place on centre wing.
Ray Jenke being told by the head trainer how he is with Jenke, feeling the result of that hip and shoulder from Steve Wright as Ironmonger gets a tap. Curran puts the ball forward. Abbott doing a nice bit of shepherding. Kicked over the top. Good effort that time by Platten. A hand pass across to Kennedy. Good teamwork by Dunstall as he gave it across to Kennedy. But good play by first Abbott, then Platten, then Dunstall, and it's a Kennedy goal.
3 goals, Barry to Kennedy.
Great piece of play there from Platten. If you watch him here, instead of picking the ball up, he's kicked it off the ground, which created the play for Dunstall. And Kennedy backing up well into the goal square, scored the goal. One of the few occasions they've been into the forward line this quarter and they've kicked a goal. Badly needed one.
Just over 11 minutes have gone in the third term. 76-64. So 2 goals in favour of the Swans as Loveridge gives the ball across to Tuck. Tuck puts the ball forward, looking for Abbott. Abbott in the front position, has it punched away by Henwood. Intercepted by Curran, who straightens up, goes goalward, but he's hooked the ball too far. 1 point.
Oh boy, that would have been a very handy goal. Peter Curran on screen as we see the Hawks move on to 10-5-65, 11-10-76 Sydney. So the difference is 11 points. A brilliant exhibition by the Swans since quarter time, and they really got their game going. Rocket Carter has kept Jason Dunstall goalless today. Ironmonger fisted away, but Simons is there, the former South Australian. He's got it too, young Tony Simons. He hooks it back. A chance for Kennedy. Kennedy to Loveridge. Loveridge on the left foot, fires a goal. It floats back. I think it's a goal, a good goal to Richard Loveridge, and the Hawks come back.
Good piece of work from young Simons over there. Second goal to Loveridge. Simons fought hard for the ball out there on the half-forward flank. Got it back into the centre of the ground to Loveridge, and he scored the goal. Here we see on the replay, left foot back into the centre of the ground. Kennedy getting the ball out to Loveridge, and on his left foot from about 40 metres out, made no mistake. Good result there for Hawthorn. Brought it down twice into their forward line now, and they're back in the game.
Tuck. Brereton flies. No mark. All of a sudden Hawthorn getting back into this game when the Swans look like having an avalanche of goals. But the Hawks, well, they're the reigning premiers. 13 minutes gone in this third quarter and they're hanging in there. They've been outplayed by the Swans for the last 1.5 quarters. Oh, going early was Harding to Brereton. He's caught with the ball. That should be holding the ball. No, says the umpire. I thought he had every chance to get rid of it then, Dermott, but the umpire elected to call play on. Centre half forward for Hawthorn. Free kicks, very, very even. One in favour of the Sydney Swans. There is about 18 players around the bounce of that ball. You can see Ironmonger beautifully across there to Greg Williams. He is absolutely dominating the ruck. Williams, a free kick. Oh, a very dangerous hand pass. Bolton, they get away with it to Ironmonger. Paul Hawke, play on, said the umpire. They really messed around then, Bob.
Yes, well, I think both sides are under real pressure at the moment as Tommy Hafey gets ready to have a chat to Craig Davis, the runner. And the bounce will take place on the point of the centre square. From the bounce, across towards centre half forward. Browning goes to kick it off the ground. Collins coming through for Hawthorn. Up towards Platten. Platten can't get the ball clear though. Could have been a tackle too high. And it's still a tackle too high against the big Ironmonger. But no free kick forthcoming, Barry.
Very tight game at the moment, Bob. Both back lines, both sides going in extremely hard, and kicks are very hard to win.
14.5 minutes have gone in the third term here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. 76-71 in favour of the Swans, as it would have been a free kick, but the advantage rule allowed. Paul Hawke comes out, tackled just as he was about to kick the ball, and so it runs through towards Kappa. Kappa tried to get the hand pass in. It was intercepted by Langford, and now Chris Mew is tripped. So Chris Mew across the half-back line, gives it to Tuck. Tuck under pressure, it's been a throw against Chris Mew. Well, did you see that?
I didn't see that, Bob. We might have to have a look at that on the replay if we can. Very rarely do you see that happen these days. But certainly a bad mistake by Chris Mew if he has thrown. Well, it doesn't matter. He has thrown the ball according to the umpire, and that's the end of the story.
Almost unbelievable, really, because he was not under any pressure.
Any pressure at all.
Gerard Healy drives the ball, and that's what you call taking advantage of things. 12-10, 82, 11-5, 71.
2 goals to Gerard Healy, and he'll never get an easier goal in league football than that.
That was almost a gift for him, Pete, so you just can't afford to make those mistakes, especially that close to goal and in these tight games.
Alan Jeans would be absolutely disgusted with that because they were really coming back, the Hawks, and that's let them up. Holden has gone off the ground and young Lloyd is on. Ironmonger again gets it down to Healy. Gee, he's dominated. There's Paul Hawke, best man on the ground. Hits it out wide, looking for Bolton. It's hooked further afield toward Bolton's opponent, Dipier Domenico. He's under pressure. Back to Loveridge. They need those little men really firing. The Hawks, Loveridge to half forward. Plenty of Swans players there, but coming across the front is Peter Curran to take a lovely mark. Probably too far out to kick a goal, so he elects to centre the ball, and it's a lovely pass too. It finds Tony Simons at the 50-metre mark. He'll actually kick from about 55 metres, so the distance would be a doubt here unless he kicks a torpedo, which he's going for, and it's a booming torpedo punt kick. Will it be touched? It's a mark to Hawthorn, right on the line. A brilliant mark by Paul Abbott, and that was a top mark, and this will be a handy goal coming up to the Hawks.
Paul Abbott has kicked 1 goal so far. Kicked his goal in the second term. First term, I should say, with an avalanche of goals by Hawthorn. Abbott now puts it through for his second goal, and the Hawks go to 12 goals, 5, 77. The Swans, 12-10, 82.
Very strong mark from Abbott there in the goal square. It looked as though for a moment there that long torpedo punt from Simons was going to go through the goals, but at the last moment Abbott took the mark. Here we see Curran taking a fine mark across the front of the pack, kicks the ball across to Simons, and this long torpedo punt, one we don't see very often in football today. And in the last line there, Abbott takes a well-judged mark. I don't know how well judged it was in the finish.
It's a lovely mark by Paul Abbott. 5 points the margin in favour of the Swans as Green puts the ball forward, but that's a good mark in defence by the Swans skipper in Dennis Carroll.
Dermott's playing a lot from behind, Bob.
Too much. He was running around and taking the front position early in the game, but he's altered his pattern of play as Carroll puts the ball out. Dipier Domenico taps it over the top, taken by Tuck. He has time to steady, drives it high. It's a real floater. Travels as far up in the air as it does distance-wise. It's punched away. Loveridge comes through with a hand pass to Platten. Out to Simons. Simons steadies, goes towards goal. And the Hawks are 1 point in front. 13-5, 83, 12-10, 82.
Well, it's a fine goal again by young Simons, the player from South Australia. Tuck getting the ball away from the centre of the ground, a very high kick. Again we see the Swans players thumping the ball away, but Hawks again to the fall of the ball through Loveridge, which shows the importance of being where the ball is on this cricket ground and the ball coming out to Simons and kicking a fine goal.
That's what the Hawks need. They're little men in the game. They went missing for a quarter when the Swans took over. 1 point the difference. 22 scoring shots to 18 in favour of the Swans. 19 minutes gone. Ironmonger again gets the tap out, but Loveridge sharks that one. Tuck having a pretty good quarter too. A wobbly old kick. Dennis Carroll should mark, and he does so. The captain of the Swans at centre half back. A hand pass to Healy. Healy swings onto the left foot. A chip shot out wide. He's got 2 men to kick it to. Finds Mitchell. Mitchell to Browning. Browning will go for the booming kick. Now who's there? Capper out of position. Eads dropped the sitter. Grabbed by Steve Wright. He straightens up into the open goal. And a bad miss results in a goal to the Swans for Steve Wright.
Again we see how much an error can cost in today's game of football. There we see Rodney Eade dropping what was an easy markers. We see here Murphy handballing across Morris over to Browning, who makes up good ground to collect it, centres the ball, And what should have been an easy mark for Eade, I don't know whether they didn't talk there with Langford or whatever happened, but just allowed right in for a very easy goal.
Back to a 5-point margin in favour of the Swans. 20 minutes have gone in this third term at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Just over 22,000 people in attendance as Harding gets a tap. Tries to put it forward again. Tuck playing an excellent game for Hawthorn. Tried desperately to get the ball out, but could not do so. Craig Holden, suspect before the game with an injured ankle, off the ground at the present moment. Handballs for today's game as Hawthorn get the ball forward from the boot of Peter Curran. Abbott in the front position, couldn't take it. DiPierdomenico's there, pushed in the back by Bolton, but no, it's gone the other way, and it's a free kick to David Bolton. So Bolton from the half-back line has Williams out clear, and Williams takes a beautiful mark. Lovely hand pass. Great play by Williams. Tui puts the ball forward, punched away by Langford from Kappa. Desperate play by Green, who does well to tap it out to Tuck. Tuck puts it onto Loveridge, up towards centre wing. DiPierdomenico first on the scene, but cannot take the possession of the ball, and it's a throw-in to take place centre wing as John Ironmonger comes off the ground to be replaced by Tony Smith.
Well, that's good coaching by Tom Hapey to give him a spell before the last quarter, because he'll be a vital man in the last quarter. Smith is pretty fresh. Hand pass from Mitchell to right. That was a clever hand pass to Smith. Smith still got it. Tackle. Well done by Loveridge. In the back it could have been to Mitchell. Now Bolton's got a chance. Oh, caught high. And David Bolton will take this on centre wing. He doesn't want to be stupid here. He could have it taken off him quite easily if he's silly. He's got the kick, and the umpire may even do so. No, 15 metres. And have a look at this.
We see on replay, Scragg by the neck, tucked through him to the ground.
Oh, that was a poor pass by Steve Wright. Straight in the hands, as Bobby said earlier, the Rod Lester Smith look-alike in Paul Harding, both from Western Australia. Here's Tony Smith going for the mark, couldn't take it. Browning tries to shuffle it out. Packer players in on top of it in the centre of the ground. The bounce will take place. The umpire being Ian Robinson.
5 points the margin. 22 and a half minutes have gone in this third term. Big pack of players around the bounce. Tony Smith in there for the Swans. Wins the tap. Stepped on again. Taken by Browning. The hand pass across to Cordy. Great squad pass, 2 tackles. Off the side of the boot. Forward pocket. Kappa's there. Couldn't take the mark. Was it a free kick for too high? Pulled play on by the umpire. Langford wins possession. Desperate football. Tommy Hafey having a word. Could almost have been a free kick to Warwick Kappa.
Well, he's getting in front, and that's terrific play by Kappa. He really fought for that, Bob.
Thrown up by the umpire. Kappa wins the tap. Kicked off the ground almost by Mew. Likewise Cordy. It comes to Hawke. Hawke tackled, loses possession, and is penalised accordingly.
Bit tough.
And it's on.
Oh.
Players coming from everywhere.
Why is it, Bobby, that the crowd loves this? I think there was a couple of elbows in that little pack.
We have a look at the replay here, and I think you'll find that Platten was the recipient of an elbow from, looks like Cordy, and here it comes. I think he missed.
On top of the head, that wouldn't have hurt him.
Plenty of sponging there.
Chris Mew it is with the resultant free kick anyway. Goes long, out towards the wing. Punched away by Carroll. Platten first on the scene. A quick hand pass across the tuck to DiPierdomenico, and the long kick down towards the centre of the ground. Loveridge taps it wide. Good play, Loveridge. Curran puts the hand pass back to Loveridge. Out wide to Brereton. Hawthorn steady as Brereton goes to goal. And it's 1 point to lead in favour of the Hawks. 89 to 88.
Great piece of work there by Brereton, set up by Loveridge. And as we said at the half-time break, how important these smaller players are to both sides. And Loveridge, a great piece of work by knocking the ball out to Curran. Backed up again. And handballs out to Brereton, who scores the goal. But Loveridge has been in most moves in this quarter for Hawthorn and certainly brought them back into the game.
Three goals to Dermot Brereton. There's Collins, has the ball smothered. Steve Wright tackling Di Domenico, and Tui was in there also. The ball comes loose to Tuck, who's had a good quarter. An ordinary looking kick though by Michael Tuck, looking for Dunstall. Oh, there's danger because Brereton all wide hand pass. Paul Hawke is looking tired, and no wonder, he's dominated this game. A short kick across is a good one to Carroll. Carroll with a hand pass. He had three options then. Some good shepherding, Steve Wright, as Gerard Healy comes down centre wing and goes for the long kick. Tony Morwood, centre of the pack, punched away by Morris. Rodney Eade at the base of the back, hooks it back. Steve Wright is there, gets a shocking bounce. Brereton cleverly back to Tuck. Oh, that was good play. Hook back. Lloyd couldn't take it. Grabbed by Abbott. Oh, brilliant play by Abbott. And Richard Loveridge races into the open goal. He hooks and hits the post. So the Hawks unlucky on that occasion, but still they move on to 14-6-90, a 2-point lead over the Sydney Swans, 13-10-88.
Rod Carter goes for the short pass. Williams has given the lead, and the kick right onto the chest of Williams, who hand passes immediately to Bolt. 50-metre line, the defensive area, up over the centre wing. Mew punches the ball away, swooping on it is Mitchell. Mitchell gets away from any tacklers, puts the left foot kick forward, too high for Kappa, and Kappa having no chance there as Langford had all chance over the top of him. Jenke breaks the tackle, puts the short one back towards Chris Mew, who takes the mark across the half-back line. 15 metres, a deliberate 15 metres by David Murphy to give the players a chance upfield to pick up their men. Mew goes long, Tui takes a lovely mark, plays on from centre wing, puts it back towards half forward. Morwood takes the front position, couldn't quite take the mark though. It's back with Tony Morwood, players dive on top of him, and a bounce will take place across the half forward line, about 60 metres out from the Swans' goal.
Well, we're seeing a classic contest. There's 2 points the difference from between two of the sides that will certainly be in the finals this year, in my opinion. And two contrasting styles of footballers. It's on half forward for the Swans. They're battling hard. Graham Cordy should have kept going the way he was. Back to Murphy. Murphy, a ton of talent. A hand pass to Greg Williams is always dangerous when he gets it. Out wide to Mitchell. Mitchell to Kappa, and he's got it. And that's 15 metres. Yes, against Chris Langford. Kappa had taken the mark, and the 15 metres brings Warwick Kappa to 25 metres from goal. As we look in replay, I suppose it might have been a little bit stiff. You had to put him under some sort of pressure, Bob.
No, it was a 15-metre penalty. I've got no doubt about that one.
Well, Warwick Kappa, the idol of the teeny boppers up here in Sydney, has kicked 1 goal for the game, and this would be a very, very handy one at the 27.5-minute mark of the third quarter. He stabs. It's close. In fact, I think he's kicked it. Yes! A goal to Warwick Kappa, and now the Swans hit the front by 4 points.
94-90 in favour of the Swans as the replay sees Greg Williams with a beautiful hand pass to Murphy, and not Murphy, Mitchell it was, I'm sorry, and a beautiful pass from Barry Mitchell right onto the chest, and that's the reason for the 15-metre penalty.
Well, I wish Kappa would lead more often like that, Bob, at the right time.
I agree with you, Pete. 4 points the margin in favour of the Swans, 28.5 minutes into the term. Harding gets the tap. It's taken by Williams. He puts it wide where Tui gets a favourable bounce. Couldn't handle it cleanly though, but then gains it, loses it. A good piece of shepherding and talking by Green allows Clatton to take possession. Drive it forward. Brereton couldn't take the mark. Dunstall taps it on to Loveridge. A nice piece of shepherding by Di Domenico. Loveridge runs into the open goal, and it's the Hawks by 2 points as Loveridge kicks his third goal.
And what a difference it's made at the centre bounce. You take Ironmonger. He took a calculated risk, I reckon, Tommy Havey, taking Ironmonger off. They're starting to get beaten around the centre bounce.
Yes, I couldn't understand it at all.
No, well, Smith's trying hard. I know why he's taking him off, Bob. I think the obvious reason is to rest him up ready for the last quarter, but I don't know. It might have been a...
You don't need a rest when you're playing well.
Well, that might be so too. I think 2 points the difference in favour of the Hawks. Smith in against Harding. Harding got that one down. Plattner's there. Play on, said the umpire. In goes Greg Williams. He's got quick hands to Mitchell. Mitchell across to Murphy, and David Murphy kicks long. Kappa's got his name written all over this if he wants it. Couldn't quite take it. Ducking away with it is Rodney Eade. Gee, he was in the perfect position. Out wide goes Jenke, and he finds his teammate out there in Tony Simons.
Simons wide on the half-back flank. The former Glenelg winger. Curran up high, couldn't take the mark. Williams gets a hand pass out to Murphy, to Mitchell I should say. Mitchell puts the ball down, a well-placed kick finds Tony Morwood. Catler was down the ground.
He couldn't play on
but there was
could he?
no chance of Morwood being able to kick that because he was well covered by Chris Langford. Alan Jeans, through the gate onto the ground.
He looks a worried man.
2 points the margin in favour of the Hawks as Tony Morwood has the shot at goal. Right into the goal square, Bayes up, punched away by Jenke, taken by Eade, he takes it through, and it's 1 point the margin, approaching the three-quarter time siren.
Well, in fact, it is 30 and a half minutes gone, and this is a magnificent game of football. 1 on 2, 2 Swans against 1 Hawk. Greg Williams over the back, cleverly to Bolton. Bolton is caught round the head, and the umpire lets that one go. Now he's playing the second one to David Bolton. I thought he did cop it round the head the first time, Bob.
Yes, but it was certainly a free kick the second time, as Bolton was thinking about a handball, but elects to take the kick. Again, favouring the left foot, covers plenty of distance. Mew was up, punches it away, taken by Eade. Eade goes across the ground looking for Simons, and that player doesn't let him down. So it's Tony Simons. The lead coming from Kennedy, out in front of Browning. Kennedy takes the mark. So John Kennedy, wide on the half-back flank. Up towards centre wing. No mark to Abbott. Tap wide. Beautiful play by Healy. He got the ball to Henwood. Called play on as a long kick comes from Henwood down into the forward area. Cordy was up high. Morris picks the ball up, taken by Eade. The hand pass almost smothered. Jenke gets it back to Eade. Eade goes wide. It's all Hawthorn as Collins has all the time in the world. One bounce, now another. Steadies, hooks the ball across looking for Brereton. Brereton in position, punched away as the siren sounds. And with a 1 point margin at three-quarter time, Henwood and Brereton, Carroll and Henwood having Carroll and Brereton having a few words. And with the pressure of this game, it's any wonder. Alan Jeans coming onto the ground, and the three-quarter time scores. Hawthorn 15-6, 96. Swans 14-11, 95. But Ironmonger, 1 point the margin in favour of Hawthorn. 1 quarter of football left to play. A high bounce. Harding actually got the tap. Curran trying to get it to Green. Could be a free kick the way of the Swans, as Graham Cordy was held when not in possession of the ball, and he will take the free kick.
Graham Cordy, formerly of Footscray. 3 Cordy brothers have played league football. What a great effort as we see Graham Cordy to half forward. The high flyers are there, almost a mark to the Hawks, but dropped by Mew. Out wide, here's the fleet-footed David Murphy leading in the race for the ball. Now let's see his cleverness. I mentioned his cleverness. Have a look at that. Cross to Browning, and Browning a booming kick. Langford and Kappa. Kappa has it fisted away over the line and out of bounds, and that's been a great duel today, that one, Bob.
It's been an excellent duel. Alan Jeans and Brian Coleman having a close look at that duel, and I'm sure they'd be happy with Kappa's effort. He hasn't kicked too many goals, 2 goals, but I think both players, it's been a fine duel. Both state representatives, both selected in the state squad, and Langford showing his wares as a fullback. Kappa not being disgraced at all as a full forward.
Cordy doing a lot of the ruck work, and he has got a big leap. Graham Cordy fisted away by Collins to Browning, and now that could have been on the full. Yes, said the boundary umpire. I thought it came off his boot, and it's a free kick to Hawthorn on half-back flank.
On those occasions, it's just bad luck, isn't it, Pete?
He didn't mean it, as we see Loveridge. If the Rovers fire for Hawthorn, there's a big mark by Henwood, and the umpire's allowing that one. He might have kicked him out first, but the umpire said he had his eyes on the ball and paid the mark. You can see that in replay as Henwood, a high one towards half forward. It hits the deck when the Rovers fire for Hawthorn. They're dangerous. There's Loveridge to Jenke. This is danger because Bolton's there. Tackled beautifully, grabbed by Loveridge, who's in everything at the moment. He was looking for Platten. Which way will it bounce? It favours Abbott. Back it comes to Big Ironmonger, trying to do the roving. A kick off the ground by Simons. Further afield, Dermot Brereton, half forward flank, picks it up beautifully against Carroll. Back it comes, Craig Holden's back on the ground. And the umpire said he was in the back, but I reckon that was the luckiest free I've seen all day.
He fell over.
What did you think, Barry?
I thought he fell over.
Holden. takes the free kick, puts it back towards the half-back line, punched away by Collins. Murphy's there, hooks the ball down. Russell Morris is there. Will he get a favourable bounce? It runs away from Morris. Now he traps the ball well. Hand pass straight away to Mew. Likewise to Tuck. Tuck floats the ball towards half-forward. Carroll in the front position. Takes it, Mark. No, it's called playing by the umpire. Williams accepts it. Gives a lovely hand pass out to Bolton. Bolton thought about the hand pass, but now goes for the long kick towards half-forward. Backing back was Eade. Couldn't take the mark. Now he gets the hand pass out to Green. Likewise on to Langford. Langford swings onto the left foot. Puts the ball out wide. Where it's a race between Curran and Toohey. Toohey's there using the body. Curran taps the ball onto DiPierdomenico. Under pressure, he pushes away his opponent. Then gets a hand pass to Curran. Curran tried to break past Williams. It was knocked out of Curran's hands. Excellent play by Greg Williams. That's beautiful football.
And Toohey too, Bob. Toohey was desperate. He threw himself on the ball, and the Swans showing great desperation. 1 point the difference in favour of the Hawks as we see Ironmonger beaten for that one by Healy. Great skills, Healy, to Williams, and Williams chips it back to Wright, who was set up for that one. A very easy mark taken by Rodney Eade. Eade breaks away and kicks it wide. 2-on-2 duel, fisted away, and he can certainly do that well, Henwood. Out wide, a chance for the Swans. Murphy was grabbed by the arm, then the umpire couldn't see that one. Morris hooks it back. Murphy, desperation stuff that on centre wing. And the umpire said he made no attempt to get rid of it, so technically I think Ian Robinson was right, Bob.
Yes, I do believe so. Bad luck for Murphy as Kennedy goes short, intercepted by Henwood. Good play as he drives the ball long. An awkward bounce for Murphy. Picked up by Jenke. A hand pass taken by Langford. Beautiful pass from Langford, finds John Kennedy. Kennedy with a hand pass over the top. Morris almost caught from behind. A long hand pass finds Loveridge. Loveridge puts the ball down, but Ironmonger too tall. Hand pass the middle into Holden. Out wide with it towards Healy on hands and knees. Healy taps the ball wide. Tapped back by Platten. Good play. Picked up again by Loveridge after the hand pass came out from Tuck. Floats the ball forward. No mark taken off the hands of the Packers. Brereton, he's got the short pass across, but he puts it too wide for Collins. Collins first on the scene though, has a chance to give it a Harding. Now elects to choose Rodney Eade. Eade from 50 metres out goes goalward. Brereton up high, couldn't take it. Picked up by Curran. He snapped, but he's offline, and it's 2 points to margin.
This is a top game of football. This tremendous pressure stuff, Barry.
Nip and tuck stuff all the way, Peter. Not one side has a break and then the other side goes. It's been a great quarter today.
5 minutes gone in the last quarter and 2 points are different. Browning, beautiful use of the body. And this is the danger player, David Murphy. A hand pass to Browning. Can he kick it? He runs to the 50-metre line. He stabs, it's wide. Oh, I thought it could have been marked. I thought that could have been marked by Tony Moore. It was low enough. Gee, I don't know what happened there. Maybe he thought it was going through for a goal.
I think he did, Peter. 1
point the difference in favour of the Hawks as it's kicked out to Rodney Eade from Langford. Oh, danger here for the Swans. A hand pass. Russell Green goes for home with a long floater, but what a good mark. Dennis Carroll sprints out of defence. Oh, they've got the loose man in Hawk. Hawk at the 50-metre line. Doesn't know what to do with it. Hooks it high. And I don't know whether that was pretty ordinary play, I thought, on that occasion. He should have ducked around and kicked it to the square.
I think he was going to try and duck around Morris. It was good defensive work there from Russell Morris to keep him between him and the goals.
Jenke's long kick, a great mark by Ironmonger. Now Hawks got the chance. Paul Hawks steadies this time, goes goalward, and the Swans are in front. 102 to 97. 5 points the margin. 4 goals to Paul Hawks.
And Paul Hawks still continuing to have a sensational game. Nearly involved in an earlier goal there just a moment ago and finished his work off there. Ironmonger takes a great mark. Handballs it across to Hawk and off he goes. He certainly can't do anything wrong today, Peter.
Well, he's having a great day, but I'll tell you what, there's a guy out there, a general, Ironmonger, controlling this game. Ironmonger out to Williams. He's playing a great game, Ironmonger. I said he's controlling the game. Murphy's been terrific since quarter time too. Oh, tremendous smother there by Greg Williams, a professional handball. Across it comes to Simons, a bad hand pass. Tony Morwood knocks it away. Kennedy is there for the Hawks. From centre wing, a short pass. Peter Curran dives, surrounded by 4 Swans players, and Peter Curran unfortunately couldn't take the mark.
Just couldn't quite reach the ball. 102 to 97 is John Ironmonger, who played a superb game. From the back, Brereton picks the ball up, puts it down towards the square. Dunstall deep here to Domenico. Dunstall almost brought it down. It's rushed through for 1 point, so it's 98 to 102. 4 points separates the sides.
You've got to hand it to Rod Carter. He is, for the game, has kept Dunstall to no goals, and the ball has been belted down there plenty of times, so full marks. What a great performance at fullback.
Carter. A little fortunate he came right over the line there as the ball's punched away. Picked up by Murphy. Wafting through the centre. Has one bounce. Dummies forward. Puts the ball long. Down towards the forward area. He's offline. The bounce favours Jenky on this occasion. He punches the ball over the line. And the one rushed over the boundary line. To find a throw-in to take place in the forward pocket.
Wasn't that great play by Mitchell? Isn't it great to see a bloke burst through the centre like that?
Happens so often here at the cricket ground. It's great stuff.
Approaching the 9-minute mark, Langford took it, picked up by Green. He lost possession. Collins tried to get the ball through to Platten. Platten was tripped. Gets a tackle too high, and John Platten will take the kick just short of half back.
It was on in there, a couple thrown in that little pack. But I tell you what, I reckon the Swans are putting Hawthorn under enormous pressure. They're tackling at the moment, even though they've given away a couple. Their tackling is ferocious.
Tackling from both sides has been great all day, Pete.
Platten puts the ball wide, and Kennedy takes the mark. Hand passes on to Harding. Likewise, Loveridge. Loveridge from centre wing comes across the ground to find Tuck. Tuck just steadies up for the moment. Keeps the ball wide. Harding.
They're not gaining much by that. They're keeping possession.
Now Harding goes for the long kick, favouring the torpedo punt. Brereton in there, couldn't take it. Dunstall picks it up across to Platten. The snap towards goal, offline. 1 point the result, so it's 99 to 102. 3 points in favour of the Swans.
And Platten and Loveridge really came into the game in the third quarter, up to three-quarter time. Platten had 13 kicks and 8 handballs. Loveridge had 11 and 4, and they've both been in the play during this quarter, so they really picked up their game, and that made a big difference to the Hawks during that third quarter, the kick out. And that was a good kick out too by Dennis Carroll. Finds Healy. He's got a terrific skills, Gerard Healy. Brings it towards the big fella, Ironmonger, and that's a mark to Mew. Oh boy, umpire. Hand pass away. I thought that was a definite mark to Chris Mew. Oh, an ordinary hand pass there by Browning. The ball comes loose to Loveridge. This is danger. Loveridge from half forward. Over to Platten. The two Rovers combining. Platten hooks it back. Carter in the centre of the pack. It's fisted away and the Swans put it through. Courtesy of Dennis Carroll for a point to the Hawks. So the scores creep a little bit closer. Hawthorn on 100. 15-10, 100. Trail the Sydney Swans. 15-12, 102.
Loose player was Toohey. Hand passes across now to Bolton. Bolton puts the ball short and wide, straight in the arms of Chris Mew. Mew. Long tired, kick towards half forward. Brereton up, couldn't take the ball though. Desperation shown by both sides. Deep here to Domenico, taps the ball forward. Platten coming out, tried to tap the ball through to Dunstall. Great play by Rod Carter as he came through. Took the ball away, got it across to Toohey. Toohey lost possession but is able to recover it. Now gives it across to Holden. Holden with a kick up towards centre wing. Punched away by Jenky. Good tackling by both sides as the hand pass comes up in the air. Through comes Paul Hawke. Did he get one in the back? No, according to the umpire. And the throw-in will take place on centre wing.
He looks very tired, Paul Hawke, and not too happy with that decision. Two frees in front, 22 to 20 in favour of Sydney as far as free kicks go. They're battling hard, the Swans, but so are Hawthorn. There's Harding, to Curran, further afield to Russell Green. They've got the loose man here as Simons grabs it, brings it to half forward. Brereton should mark this. Oh, good play. Oh, the umpire's given it against Carroll.
No doubt about that. What did you think, Barry?
Definite free kick against Carroll for interfering with Brereton there. Made no attempt to go for the ball.
Yeah, fair enough, as we see Dermot Brereton, a good kick for goal, will kick from about 45 metres. He's kicked 3. It's been a terrific duel between Dennis Carroll and Dermot Brereton. Brereton at times playing from behind. but he's going for goal number 4, and it'll put the Hawks in front. There's the kick. It's not a good kick. It's off the side of the boot, and it's another point to the Hawks. So they've got their wrong boots on now. Hawthorn have moved on to 15-11, 101. A point behind the Sydney Swans, 15-12, 102. 12 and a half minutes gone in this final quarter.
Henwood puts a long kick back. Great effort by Moore to take the one-hander. Morris hooks the ball over the shoulder down to the forward area. Deep here a minute ago, taps it over the top. Henwood shows great desperation to get in there. Puts it out to Murphy. Murphy now. Mitchell, I should say. I've confused both of those players a number of times today. Both of them doing well. Big Ironmonger tapped the ball back. Tapped out now as Curran puts it back to Platten. Platten through, and Hawthorn taps the ball across as Williams picks it up. Healy tried to, with great desperation, to pick the ball up and get it out. But a few mistakes made by both sides, but it's sheer desperation from both sides.
Williams and Healy have got a fantastic understanding, and it was clever play by Healy, who was about to be caught. Ironmonger, the Rock of Gibraltar. He battled hard out wide. He had to try and use his pace, or lack of pace, I should say. Here is Healy trying to tap it out. He does get it out. Loveridge dives on the ball, and the umpire will probably bounce this, umpire Shane McDonald, and he does so.
Well, Sydney fans, I think, seeing a bit of both codes at the present moment. You could call it rugby, you could call it football, but it's great to watch because it's a fine tussle. Tapped over the back. Browning first on the scene. Gets the ball out to Healy. Healy tackled too high, according to the umpire.
Lucky.
So Gerard Healy, a little lucky, Barry.
Very lucky there, I thought, Bob. Platten was away and running too.
Lovely kick from Healy. Finds Holden out wide on centre wing. Tapped away by Harding. Jenke takes it. Tries to break through. Cannot do so. Kappa first on the scene, but players diving in on top of him. A Swans player in trouble. Alan Jeans having a look at the situation, but just away from the situation we see a Swans player in real trouble.
I thought Ray Jenke was a bit lucky then not to have been caught holding the ball.
Tried to break his way through that,
and he was
Peter,
caught.
and he was dead set caught.
I'll say he was. I thought he should have been against him. Now, who is it? Oh,
Graham Cordy, is it? Graham Cordy, it is, in trouble there. He stood his ground well in front of Jenke.
Smith is warming up.
Not too good. I think he'll be straight off the ground.
Smith is warming up, and he's a fresh
on
man.
replay, Pete, we'll watch just exactly how it happened.
Oh, nothing in it.
I think he just caught his leg caught, and I think he may have twisted a knee or something.
Back with play. Healy trying to get the ball through to Bolton. Tapped away that time by Tuck. On now to DiPierdomenico. Across to Kennedy. To Platten. Hand pass back to Kennedy. Kennedy straightens up, goes down towards goal. Touched on the line. Scores a level.
What a game we're seeing here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. A low trajectory kick. There's Tony Smith about to come on the ground. If Cordy's come good, so he may not come on yet. The scores are dead set level. Henwood straight up the centre of the ground. Tony Morwood flies. In fact, too many Swan players flew against each other there. Andrew Collins across to Richard Loveridge. Loveridge has the running Chris Mew. Mew off the side of the boot. Peter Curran against Tui. Curran, a brilliant mark. He really was in the right position for that. Abbott calling for it. Dunstall's there. Yet to score a goal, Jason Dunstall. Carter from behind. He'll head for the line. The ever-reliable Rod Carter, and he puts it over the line. You couldn't wish for better. 16 minutes gone. Tony Smith warming up. Sydney second on the ladder. Hawthorn third. Which side will give?
102 points apiece as Healy takes the ball out of defence. Jenke in the front position. It's punched away by Bayes. Picked up by Murphy. The long kick towards centre half forward. Kappa in front. Puts towards right. He gets the hand pass in. Hawke picks the ball up. Back onto the right foot. Goes across the ground. A well-placed kick finds Tony Morwood. 102 points apiece. Tony Morwood to put the Swans back in front.
Diving mark by Tony Morwood, leading up the ground, and shouldn't have any trouble in getting the distance on this kick.
What brilliant play by Paul Hawke, Barry.
Oh, he's had a great game, Peter. He
He's
cannot do a thing wrong.
Well, he twists and turns. This is a vital kick. He kicks it, floats. He hasn't made the distance from 35 metres. That's tiredness. When you can't make the distance from there, that means your legs are tired. And in fact, Mew was uncontested as he took that mark. Chris Mew. That's a bad kick from Tony Morwood. It was Smith. Over the back of the pack. Oh, good play by Williams. Now it's Big Ironmonger doing the wrestling. In he goes after it, and the bounce will take place. I can't believe that. Even a point would have been handy, would have given him the lead.
There's some very tired boys out there at the moment, Peter, I think, and well, they deserve to be tired after the game that they've played today.
17 minutes, 45 seconds have gone. Nearly 18 minutes into the term. Harding gets the tap. Healy puts it out. Kennedy to Simons. Simons hooks the ball down towards half forward. Punched away by Henwood. Michael Tupp, a magnificent player today for the Hawks, drives the ball down, coming across the front. Dewey loses it. Dunstall hooks it across. Curran waiting for it. Curran will give the hand pass across to Di Pierdomenico. Over to Platten. Platten under pressure. Puts it back to Di Pierdomenico. Di Pierdomenico. A goal!
Well, they certainly went around a long way about kicking that goal. Bertie Domenico running down the ground into that open space, accepting the kick from Dunstall, and here we see once again on replay one of Dunstall's few kicks to Curran in the centre of the ground. Handball to Dipper, moving down the ground, fumble a little bit over to Platten, and he runs around back to Di Pierdomenico. Good piece of teamwork from the Hawks there.
And don't tell me there's not luck in football.
Luck's a fortune.
One goal the difference. A bit of luck there on half-forward flank. There were 3 against 1 and a lucky bounce. But here comes Paul Hawke. He gets it out wide to Morwood, who can't pick it up. They dive in on the ball, and the umpire will come in and bounce it halfway between the centre wing and half-forward flank for the Swans. Don't give up the ghost yet, the Swans, because although Hawthorn lead by 6 points, the Swans are great fighters. We've seen them come from behind in many games. Ironmonger looking very tired. Loveridge has had a great second half. Down to Curran. Curran smothered off the boot. Craig Holden's got it. Oh, dispossessed. In they go after it. Centre of the ground, and it's a line ball. And once again, umpire McDonald will come in and bounce it.
The players today are so adept at tapping the ball away from another player who's got possession. 6 points the margin, almost 20 minutes into the term. So approximately 8 or 9, maybe even 10 minutes, depending on any goal scored, left in this game as Craig Holden's kick, not a good one. Loveridge puts the ball down towards the forward pocket area. Dunstall kicks the ball off the ground, then a hand pass out to Platten. Platten's got Brereton down in the pocket, but he can't keep the ball in play. Over the boundary line it goes, and the result will be a free kick to the Swans skipper, Dennis Carroll.
He tried desperately to get it back to Brereton there at that stage, but just wasn't able to hook it round far enough.
Carroll from the back pocket, in amongst all the paper. You could call it snow, call it what you like. Not easy to kick out of, and sometimes as Collins takes it. Hand pass smothered. Collins tapped it back again. Di Pierdomenico picks it up. Thinks about the hand pass. Goes long to Green. On to Loveridge. Loveridge over the top towards Kennedy. Kennedy back to Loveridge. A chance of a goal coming up. Loveridge kick goes forward, and the Hawks get another goal.
I think if you look at one player that's been the difference between these two sides in the second half, it's been Loveridge. He's played a top second half, and as we see on replay here, look at the ground that Loveridge covers and how many times he takes hold of the ball. He keeps running here, collects the ball from Kennedy and runs into the open goal. Has had a great second half, Richard Loveridge.
And that was the difference. The little men during the second quarter were badly outpointed. As soon as they came into the game, and Loveridge had 20 kicks, 10 handballs and 4 goals, so not a bad day's work. Here come the Swans again. Now Tony Morwood missed a sitter before, in fact didn't make the distance. He looked tired. On this occasion a goal is desperately needed. 21.5 minutes gone. Now he should make the distance. He's only kicking from 45 metres. He ran very close to the man on the mark, and that was a shocking kick by Tony Morwood. He ran far too close to the man on the mark, had to kick it high to get it over him, and once again a shocking kick.
I think he was caught there by the man on his mark, because he just ran too close to him.
Lloyd on the ground to replace Browning as Morris puts the ball forward, punched away. Fine. Hawke gets the ball across the right. Chance of a goal coming up as it swings back, but offline. 1 point kick by Stevie Wright. 1 goal, 3 to Steve Wright. It's 103 to Swans, 114 to Hawthorn as Morris gives the ball to Eade. Eade goes wide where Langford has made position wide on the half-back flank. Chris Langford steadying things down for the moment. Now elects to go long. It's a lovely kick from Langford. Punched away. Then with the backhander, Williams dives in. Caught one too high, but called play on as John Kennedy does well to come out with the ball to Loveridge. Loveridge tackled, gets the hand pass back to nobody though. Hawke intercepts, the hand pass comes over. A bad bounce for Wright. Deepie Domenico has the ball taken away from by Stevie Wright. Gets the hand pass back, tapped away from Murphy. Murphy still diving in there, puts the ball back, picked up by Tui. Tui taps the ball out to Bays. Bays a long snap towards goal. Bounces truly, and it's a great goal from Mark Bays.
What a top goal that was, Barry, for his second.
A great goal by Bays. Again, just the complete opportunist. And there was some really desperate stuff there. We saw player after player fall over just as they're about to get hold of the ball. Murphy was one, battled desperately to get the ball out. Knocks it out there again. Just every player just struggling desperately to get hold of the ball. And it comes out to Bays, and his left foot snaps true. Peter.
Right, but it was a top goal. They really do it well in the packs, the Swans. 5 points the difference. Here's Gerard Healy on the left foot. Yes! Mitchell. The Swans, they fight back. They were 2 goals behind. They've kicked the point, followed by a goal. Can he make the distance? I doubt it from 50 metres. It'll lob it up in the goal square. The drop punt, it'll drop short, I feel. Kappa punched away, forced through for a behind of the Sydney Swans. So the difference now on the scoreboard is 4 points in favour of Hawthorn. And we've been playing 24 minutes as we see Mark Browning off the ground holding his nose. A short kick, travelled about 8.5 metres. Mitchell on the mark. As we see Harding out wide, Simons not gaining a great deal of distance. A rebound here and certainly give the Swans a big chance.
Tony Simons elects to go for the long kick. Michael Tuck coming from behind, but a great mark to Henwood in the middle of the pack.
He's a strong mark, Bob.
Certainly is, Pete, as Wayne Henwood now back towards half forward. Morris comes across, punches the ball away. Rodney Eade picks it up, gives the hand pass to Morris. Floats the ball into the centre. Brereton tripped, so too did Carroll. Carroll tripped and good umpiring there. There was, although it may have, you could have given a free kick to Dermot Brereton. It was a complete accident, I felt, and it was good umpiring for mine.
Well, it could have gone either way there, I thought, Bob, but certainly looked to me as though Brereton could have got a kick, but as you said, the umpire elected to ball it up.
Time on left to play as Ironmonger puts the ball down. Williams puts the hand pass wide. Murphy takes the ball well, gives the hand pass to Henwood. Henwood puts the ball high in the air, over towards the half-forward line. Hawke from behind! A great effort, couldn't quite take it. Tapped wide by Jenke. Curran picks the ball up, just gets the kick in. Out wide, it's Lloyd and Kennedy. Kennedy uses his body well. Carroll coming on the scene. Kennedy taps it back, kicked off the ground by Green. Goes on after it again, taps it out again. Picked up by Holden, across to Bolton. Bolton with a hand pass across now to Healy. Healy tackled as he was about to kick the ball, but he gets a long kick forward. Jenke couldn't take the mark. It's picked up by Bays. Tackled, loses it, just got the boot to it. Eade got the hand pass out wide. Kappa does likewise. Players diving in from everywhere. Great play by both sides as Langford tried to tap it out. Now he gets the hand pass in. Back it's smothered again as both Hawke and his opposition try and get the ball clear.
Well,
anybody's game. Only 4 points the margin. 26 minutes have gone.
Yes, and this is one of the best games you'd ever wish to see. There's Smith. Knocked away, loose. Loveridge has been brilliant since half-time. It's all the Swans out wide. Now, will it sit for Tui? Yes, Tui's got it. Oh, did he drop it? No, said the umpire. Danger, because Kennedy's got it. Oh, caught with the ball. That's holding the ball, I think.
The umpire had already signalled out of bounds for mine.
I think he's going to favour the Swans.
The umpire had already signalled out of bounds.
Well, it's the Swans coming forward through Bolton. Kappa! Yes! The pressure, enormous pressure here. Warwick Kappa. And look at the Sydney fans. Warwick Kappa, not a great kick normally. He's only 25 metres out. Have a look at this in replay. The ball floats. Kappa is there. Hasn't had it the best of days. He's kicked 2 goals. If he kicks this, the Swans hit the front by 2 points. What pressure. Warwick Kappa, is he up to it? Have a look at the crowd in the background. Apprehensive as Warwick Kappa concentrating. Oh, funny looking run in, but it's a goal. And the Swans.
And listen to that crowd go absolutely berserk. 2 points in favour of the Sydney Swans. What a finish of this game. Kappa, a strong mark just in front of goal there and kicked truly. I must admit I wouldn't have wanted my house on it, Bob.
Replay, deep here to Medico.
Oh, there it is.
I think that's why it was a free kick. It may have been out of bounds. The replay now, Warwick Kappa taking the mark.
Wrong mark.
Maybe a match winner. 2 points in favour of Hawthorn. Ironmonger takes it, gives it towards Williams. Platten picks it up. Ironmonger's in there again, and there'll be another bounce to take place.
I'll give Ironmonger about 10 votes today, but he's been fantastic.
28 minutes have gone. Harding puts it wide. Simons tackled, loses it. Platten puts it off the ground. The hand pass to Kennedy. Knocked out of his hands by Healy. Back to Williams. The ball back in the Swans forward area. Eade, a great mark. Called play by the umpire. Mitchell picks it up. Floats the ball forward. And there's the match winner now. 8 points the margin.
And that's the game, I should say, for the Sydney Swans. I thought Rodney Eade was a trifle unlucky not to be paid that mark. I would have paid it. But anyway, the Swans was there through, I think it was Barry Mitchell who picked the ball up. A dead set mark, I thought. He did everything in his power to mark that ball. Barry Mitchell picked the ball up and finished the game off for the Sydney Swans. What a game.
Would you have paid it, Bob?
I would have paid it.
So would I. I thought he had control, but still, there's still time. 4 minutes are gone. The difference is 8 points. Can the Hawks come back? Ironmonger dominating the run. The Bays here. Swans have never beaten the Hawks up here at this ground, but they might today. The ball comes loose. Williams has been fantastic as usual. There's the siren. The Sydney Swans, to the delight of the crowd, have beaten the Hawks. 18-14, 122. Greg Williams looking absolutely delighted. To 17-12, 114. Barry, one of the best games you'd ever wish to see.
Well, we've been extremely lucky in the last 2 weeks up here in Sydney, Peter, to witness this game and the Carlton game last weekend. But no side could be disappointed with their performance today. The game could have gone either way at any stage of that last quarter, and it was the Swans who got the breaks in the time-on period.
Well, there's the Swans supporters, absolutely delighted. Full marks to the Swans, full marks to Hawthorn, who fought it out. David Murphy, tremendous game. Gerard Healy, terrific skills. Tony Morwood, as usual, dangerous. Mark Browning, not as good as he normally is. Kappa, the winning goal. Henwood did some fine work in the last quarter. Greg Williams, fantastic as usual, at the base of the back, doing all the hard work.
Just an absolutely fine performance from the Sydney Swans, and you've really got to admire not only the Swans players but the Hawthorn players as well, and just what true athletes these boys are to play 100 minutes of that sort of pressure football today was just great stuff.
A very delighted Swans room, and I tell you what, they're going to have a big say in who wins the premiership this year, the Sydney Swans. Well, there's the scenes in the room. Mark Bayes kicked a brilliant goal when the pressure was on. Bernard Toohey on screen, a brilliant effort. Well, Bobby Skilton, you're a man who would have sung that song many, many times in the past yourself. What did you think of that performance?
Well, it was a great fighting effort by both sides. First of all, the Hawks swamped the Swans in the first quarter, and it looked as though it may have been a disaster for the Swans. They came back in the second quarter with 7 goals, 5 to 2 goals, 2, and then it was neck and neck. 6 goals, 2 apiece in the third quarter for a 1-point lead at three-quarter time, the same as it was at half-time by Hawthorn. In the last quarter, the Swans, 7 scoring shots to 8 by the Hawks, but the Hawks kicked 2 goals, 6. The Swans kicked 4 goals, 3. Straight kicking is winning football, an excellent quarter of football, one that was a delight to watch, and I think that you called at one stage during the term, Pete, both of these sides will have a big say in this year's premiership.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Bob. I think they're two of the favourites for the flag at the moment, along with Carlton, and we're going to see some great football from these two sides over the coming games.
A great game of football here at the Sydney Cricket Ground saw the Sydney Swans run out winners 18 goals 14, 122 over Hawthorn, 17 goals 12, 114.
And there they are, the quarterback.